MBA Show, the business podcast that's always honest and to the point with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenholm. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. And today's episode is called Watch Your Back. You can't trust these people. The truth of the matter is there are people in business, there's people that you're going to interact with in business that you simply can't trust. Life is not always sunshine and rainbows. You're going to get people that don't have your best interest in mind. And in today's episode, I'm going to give you some of the signs, some things to look out for to make sure you avoid these people and to keep your distance as much as possible. I got a whole lot to talk about in today's episode, so let's get down to business. This episode of the $100 MBA Show is brought to you by JustWorks. JustWorks helps businesses take care of their benefits, payroll, and HR. Running a successful business is hard enough. The thousands of little details sometimes make it feel overwhelming. JustWorks will process your payroll automatically, set up your team's benefits online, and help you save on healthcare. It's just that simple. Find out more at www.justworks.com/MBA. And guys, get 15% off your first year when you sign up with code MBA. Grow your business, not your busy work. Use JustWorks. Created by entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs. I want to preface this lesson with saying that these people, or the people that have the traits I'm going to be talking about today, are not like horrible people that are evil. They just have bad habits, and you shouldn't be around them because they can affect you and your business. Your job is still to be professional and to be kind and to be polite. But my advice to you is the people that have these traits, you cannot trust them and you need to keep your distance as much as possible. Let me get into those traits right now. Number one, be very careful around people that are what I call blabbermouths, that talk about other people all the time. They're often complainers. They're complaining about other people, complaining about what they've done to them. They often have ill feelings or poor opinions of other people. Basically, they're a gossiper. And the reason why I really am careful around people like this, and I try not to hang around people that do this too much, is because if they're complaining about somebody else, if they're blabbing their mouth and gossiping about somebody else, when you're not around, there's a good chance they're going to be doing it about you. They're going to be complaining about you. Now, you might be saying, well, what are they going to complain about? I'm not a bad person. People that complain find reasons to complain. They could be jealous. They could just share conversations that you had with them. So be careful around people that are always bad-mouthing other people. It's okay to have an opinion or to disagree, but if they're not being respectful, then that's a problem. You can't trust somebody that's always breaching the trust of other people. In those cases, when somebody talks about somebody in a bad way, it's kind of an uncomfortable situation because I don't want to say, yeah, you're right, and I sound like I'm agreeing with them and I'm complaining about the other person as well. I often try to change the subject. Or sometimes if I have seen this person a few times, I will stop them and say, hey, you know what? I'm not the kind of person that likes to talk about other people. I know that you probably you probably have the right to complain or something happened to you that makes you upset, but this is just not my style. And just stop them in their tracks and let them know you're not the kind of person that tolerates that kind of talk. That's not an easy thing to do. And it may rock the boat a little bit, but it'll send a message that you're not like everybody else. They may get defensive and say, hey, no, I'm not just complaining for no reason. And that's just a risk you're going to have to take if you're going to stand your ground. All right, what's another trait of somebody that you cannot trust? I kind of hinted at this earlier, but if somebody's always sharing secrets with you, that's a problem. If they're saying to you, don't tell anybody I said this to you, but, or they look over their shoulder and say, hey, listen, just keep this between you and I, but this is what happened to me, or this is what happened to somebody else, or I heard this happened to this person. If you're sharing secrets, it's no longer a secret. And the same goes with you. If you want to share a secret, if you feel compelled to share a secret with somebody else, don't be surprised if it gets shared around town or gets shared around your market. There's an old Arab proverb that says, if you share a secret and it gets spread around, don't be surprised because the same force that pulled the secret out of you is going to be present in other people as well. So if you feel compelled to tell a secret and you tell it to somebody else, the other person is going to feel compelled to tell somebody else as well, especially because it's not their secret. So if you're around people that are always sharing secrets with you, saying, hey, lowering their voice, don't tell anybody that I said this, or let's keep this between you and I, or whatever. If that's a consistent thing, that's a problem. I don't like to do that because that means I can't trust them. I can't, share some of the things I'm doing in my business, or maybe have a private conversation about, not about other people, but about what I'm doing or some of the thoughts I'm having, they might just go ahead and share with everybody else. And maybe you don't want to have that happen. So if somebody's constantly sharing secrets with you, be aware that they're somebody that can't keep things to themselves. Before I move on to the next trait, I want to just say this is a sensitive topic. I don't want to sound like, there's all these bad people out there. There isn't. The majority of the people out there in the business world are great. But there are people that have these traits, and you have to be careful. So the next trait is someone that treats others in an unkind way. And this has something to do with their character. If you find somebody's treating maybe, their loved one, their spouse, their employees, even the person that's like serving them at a restaurant, they're just treating them very unkindly. I get worried because it's a sign of character. It shows who they are with me is not really who they are with everybody else. Maybe they're putting up an act so they can, appease me or make me feel like I can trust them. Now, this is a very, kind of gray area. But if they're consistently unkind with somebody that's close to them, maybe like their spouse or maybe like their friends or family, I kind of get uncomfortable because I feel like, well, why are you so unkind with other people? But when you're with, business partners or colleagues in business, you're super nice. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. Something doesn't add up. I like to be around people that are kind to everybody, whether they're friends or family or business colleagues or strangers, or at least they're consistent with the way they treat people. To me, there is no excuse for being a meanie. There's no reason for you to be mean to people, to be rude to people. Regardless of the situation, you should be polite. You should be nice. And if you're doing that with people that are close to you, it makes me feel like I don't know if I want to be around you. It puts a big question mark on your character. All right, guys, I got more on this topic. But before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, JustWorks. JustWorks helps businesses take care of their benefits, payroll, and HR. And no one knows entrepreneurs' needs better than JustWorks because they've been in their shoes. They're entrepreneurs themselves. That means they don't just respond, they anticipate. And they help you stay one step ahead. Nobody starts a business to take care of busy work. So let JustWorks take care of the paperwork so you can grow your company. JustWorks integrates HR and payment platforms. Companies with less than 50 employees are normally overpaying for healthcare. With JustWorks, they could save up to $200 per employee per month. They're the only guys in town doing healthcare savings, the compliance, and an awesome tech-forward product. To find out more about JustWorks, just visit justworks.com/MBA. And listeners of the $100 MBA show get 15% off their first year when they sign up with the code MBA. Grow your business, not your busy work. Use JustWorks. Guys, I got one more thing you need to look out for when it comes to people that you just simply shouldn't trust. And that's people that make big promises often. People that make huge promises that are hard to keep, and they do it often. This is somebody that not necessarily is a bad person, but they have a bad gauge of what they can actually pull off. They say yes to everything, no matter how big or small, and they're not really considering how much time things take. So this is not necessarily, somebody that, is untrustworthy. It's just somebody that you're just going to have to be aware of that they're not going to fulfill on their promises because they're making promises often, large and small promises. So be aware that when people commit to things without even thinking them through, or they just say, yes, I'm in no matter what, well, look at your calendar, find out if you have time, find out if you actually pull this off. It's different when it's once in a while and it's like, okay, this is a great opportunity, I'm going to jump right onto it no matter what. But when it's every single time, no matter what the situation is, it's a yes, that's an issue. And just be aware of that. This doesn't make him a bad person. It just makes him somebody that hasn't learned to say no yet, or that hasn't really learned to evaluate if they can keep that promise or not. And it's just for you to know so you don't bank on the fact that they're actually going to follow through. They're actually going to fulfill on that promise. Often they will not because they have too many promises to fulfill. Guys, all in all, most of the people that I've interacted with in the business world are fantastic. They've been through tough times, good times, and they've built some really strong character. But there are people out there that are just not somebody you want to be around. It's just the nature of the world. And when it comes to business, your business is your baby. You have to protect it. And you got to protect it from people that really shouldn't be around it. And in a lot of ways, that means not being around you. I hope that helps, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, drop us an iTunes rating and review and let us know. Just click on the cover art if you're on your iPhone, click the link that says give us a rating and review, or visit 100mba.net/show. Remember, everybody who gives us an iTunes rating and review enters our weekly draw to win a free ride to the $100 MBA Training and Community. That's a lifetime membership to over 180 videos, interviews with experts, workbooks, a whole lot more. Guys, if there's a topic you want us to discuss here on the $100 MBA Show, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Tweet at me on Twitter, @BizRepublic is my handle, BIZRepublic. Is there something that you're struggling with at the moment? Is there something that you need help with? We would love to hear from you and add it to our spreadsheet and hopefully create an episode, a lesson around that topic. Guys, I want to leave you with this. You'll notice that sometimes we offer a lot of social advice here on the $100 MBA Show because business is a social activity. You're dealing with other people all the time. And you're dealing with personalities, different mindsets, and everybody comes